Is this what your typical game night looks like? There has to be a better way. I'm going to make this dice tower using 1/4 inch thick walnut, which I'm ripping to 2.5 inches wide. Next, I'll cut it into 6-inch pieces to make the 4 sides. To hold the bottom, I'm cutting a dado on one end of all the sides. The bottom will be 1/8 inch thick wood, so it only takes one pass to make the dado on each side. I recently got a flat tooth blade for my table saw, and it's great for non-through cuts like this, since it leaves a perfectly square kerf, compared to a blade with alternating teeth that leaves a point at the top. These will be joined with mitered corners, so I'll run them through with the blade tipped to 45 degrees. It would be a little easier if I did that before cutting it into pieces, but I guess it's all the same in the end. Now for the first glue up. I'm only gluing 3 sides together for now. That way I have a good solid structure for attaching some clickety-clackety steps inside before gluing on the last side. Some tape hinges keep the pieces aligned, and you can just roll it up once glue is applied. While that dries, I can make the steps that will go inside the tower. I'm using a scrap of pine, and I'll put a 45-degree bevel along one long edge. Then I'll move the fence in and put the blade back to 90 and cut off that beveled part. The exact size here depends on your dice tower. Just make sure there's enough room between the edge of the step and the opposite wall to accommodate your dice. In this case, I'm making all my spaces and openings 1 inch minimum. Then I can just cut pieces off of this, 4 in total. With the tower dry, I'm going to cut a square from this scrap of 1/8 inch spruce for the bottom. And a quick test fit. At this point, I also decided I didn't want the visible floor inside to be the spruce, so I cut a square from thin walnut and glued that on top of it. The last wall will have a door for the dice to emerge from. I'll cut that with the scroll saw. Then the edges are softened with a strip of sandpaper. Next, the steps are glued in place, alternating sides as they go down. Before permanently gluing on the last side, I found that sometimes dice come out, sometimes they don't. So it's back to the scroll saw to enlarge the door to full width. Now I can seal it up. Some sanding, and things are in pretty good shape, but there's something else I want to do to give it more of a castle type of look. Using the cut-off strip of walnut from earlier, I'll cut 4 sides to look like the top of a castle tower. Okay, that usage of material wasn't as clever and thrifty as I thought, since it means the grain runs across the bits that stick up instead of along them, making them very easy to snap off, as I just did here. So I need to make new ones with the grain going vertically. These I'll cut on the scroll saw. Then I'll bevel the ends to 45 degrees so the corners come together nicely. Those are glued on, and now this really looks like a proper tower. The last order of business is to add a dice tray at the bottom so they don't go flying all over the table and across the floor when they come out. This wasn't part of the original plan, so I have to come up with a design that works with the finished tower. After some pondering, I realized the dice catcher doesn't need a bottom, and I can use magnets to hold it in 2 different positions. So adding it will be a minimally invasive procedure that's very simple to do. I'll cut 3 pieces for it, and drill a hole for a magnet in one of them, and 2 holes in the side of the tower. Then I'll glue the 3 sides together. I have some tape on the tower so they don't stick to it. To complete the look, I glued another piece to the back so it will look like a continuous base when not in use. So the idea is that the magnet on the dice catcher holds it to the tower's rear magnet, and when you need to use it, you pull it out and it sticks to the front magnet, turning it into a little corral. Then a good sanding around all the edges. A coat of oil to finish things off, and that walnut is looking really good. And finally, the magnets are glued in place. You have to be careful to figure out which way they need to go, and mark them so you don't end up with magnets repelling instead of attracting. And this dice tower is done. The walnut looks great, and I think the proportions came out working pretty well. I really like this magnetic dice tray, and I'm clearly excited about it. It's simple, compact, and effective. And it uses magnets, which is an automatic yes from me. Well, it might not improve your rolls, but at least we're rolling in style. Thanks for watching.